And welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing. And here's your trio of hosts with your trio of topics, starting with Romina with the good hair, Audrey, make YouTube great again, Ember, and of course your dark lord of the interwebs, Roberto Blake. Welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, filmed in front of a live YouTube audience. Please like, subscribe, and review.
Make YouTube great again.
Audrey, how are you? How are your plans? Tell us what your policies are. How are you?
Your topics are pretty much always like YouTube topics, so it's like, yeah, Audrey, make YouTube great again, Ember. Yeah.
I mean, isn't it already great?
That's a matter of opinion.
Depends on who you ask.
I mean, I think that it's better. I've been around long enough to think that it's like, oh yeah, it's better than it was. Like, I've been around that long, but these guys today don't appreciate what YouTube is and how far it's come.
I agree. I think it's already great.
Can it be greater?
I mean, everything can be greater, you know? There's always room for improvement.
Well, I mean, you had a topic.
I don't know about that.
What?
Well, I mean, it depends, because there's like, sometimes there's a such thing as doing too much.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. I think I think that you get to a point where, for example, Airbnb only just now updated or did like the largest update that they've done in a decade, right? So why is that? It's because whatever they had was working for a really long freaking time, right? I mean, it's a very simple concept. Yeah, they introduced new features, but Airbnb has been great at what it does for a very long time. So can it be greater? I don't know, really. I mean, yeah, there's room for improvement, but it's pretty great at what it does, right? So I don't know if it could be any greater. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. There's a lot of people who don't like Airbnb, so I get that too. But I think those are the types of people who are picky about a lot of things.
So, Audrey, do you want to start with your topic tonight?
Sure.
Lead us in.
Well, I just looked it up to make sure I'm not butchering any of this. But the whole like TikTok Pulse thing is basically the equivalent of the creator partnership program on YouTube, where they're doing like a 50-50 split with ad revenue, but you have to have over 100,000 followers.
Which basically is the same thing as saying that 100,000 followers is only worth 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
Or is it 10,000 now?
No, it's 100,000 to be in TikTok Pulse. Or I mean, didn't you just say you just looked it up? And isn't that what we saw?
Wait, but is YouTube 10,000?
No, but she's saying YouTube. What's the entry
YouTube
level?
is 1,000 subscribers. So I'm saying 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is worth 100,000 on TikTok, because now if you want to get some of that good ad money, you gotta have 100,000 on TikTok, which means that let's say it like it is. That's what they're saying when they make that requirement to get ad revenue on par with YouTube. They're saying to have equity in the platform of TikTok, you have to basically have 100,000 followers. And if YouTube says, well, we only require you to have 1,000 subscribers to have equity in the platform and share in the ad bounties, then that's making an equivalency.
Do you think there's also like maybe on YouTube there's more guidelines and like it's harder to
guidelines are about the same, and it's easier to get banned on TikTok than it is on YouTube.
That's true. It is easier to get banned, but I feel like their banning system is so whack. Like people get banned for like the dumbest reasons, and then really sus content also gets through because it's supposed to be automated, but it's not quite there yet.
I'm gonna be real. Your generation loves TikTok. I think TikTok's trash.
I mean, I'm like on the fence. I agree where I prefer long format content, but I also understand the appeal of TikTok.
I mean, there's YouTube Shorts, there's Instagram Reels, but what I'm saying is look at like you said, all the sus content on TikTok and how bad it is, and then look at how they take down and remove creators' accounts with like almost no appeal process. The false reporting system is god awful. It's dominated by politics now, and so now basically you can have your account, a benign account, taken down just because you don't agree with someone's politics, or it's like, and there are people who are targeted in that, and then TikTok in terms of comments and harassment is much worse than YouTube in terms of how bad that is and everything like that. I mean, how do you really vindicate like TikTok? And then on top of that, look at how badly they pay creators. How does anyone vindicate TikTok like at this point? Well, there are other places to get viral vertical videos. Like how do people, aside from, oh, I already have an audience there, oh, I have a community there, it's like for what TikTok is, and then its ties through its parent companies to the Chinese, Communist Party, and that not being an American-owned company, the security concerns there, not to mention the CCP's like, human rights stuff. Like, I mean, it's really hard, I find. I mean, I find it really weird that Gen Z is so infatuated with TikTok when you add it all up.
I mean,
You think
I
it's weird
understand
that
why
they're
into it.
Why?
Because it's just like, it reminds me when I was watching YouTube content when I was younger. Like, there's a certain type of culture that's just there. Like, if you're on Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, you're not going to get that. So you're kind of going to be like out of the loop if you're not on TikTok. Like, everyone's referencing. It's kind of like Vines. Like, people reference Vines all the time. Well, people reference like TikToks all the time now. Or
yeah, I get its cultural impact and its cultural relevance. I just don't know how sustainable that is, because again, at some point your generation ages up, and then career-wise, YouTube's more viable career-wise than TikTok, even though you can get a bunch of like followers and everything like that. TikTok has no permanence. Yes, it's viral and it's in the moment, and yeah, people might be referential. Vine didn't have permanence, and now it's just a memory. Like I feel that Snapchat was hot for a couple of years, and TikTok has been around for a couple of years, and people are using that to quote its potential for longevity. I disagree. I feel like TikTok is in its last couple legs of good years of being, I don't think TikTok is where it is today 5 years from now, and I don't think it's in a better place 5 years from now. I think it's in decline after that. I give it 5 years before it's the next Snapchat. Because in 5 years, Zoomers will be where the youngest millennials are now. And so in terms of their infatuation with short form content.
I gotta say, I'm real glad that I'm not a Zoomer.
Yeah.
I just hate that name. That would make me real sad.
What? Zoomers is a great name. We zoom in. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you were in the flow, Roberto, but I had to.
I
can say we zoom in, man.
I also just don't understand how Zoomers with their, I don't understand what Zoomers with their belief system square their infatuation with TikTok. Because again, TikTok is an irrelevant platform without Zoomers. Without Gen Z, TikTok is meaningless. Like, it has nothing without Gen Z. TikTok's nothing without Gen Z. I just don't understand how Gen Z squares their like rah TikTok when this is the same generation that constantly screams about exploitation, when in terms of creator equity, it's probably the most exploitive platform that exists right now in terms of creator equity. So there's that aspect of it. And then in terms of rah and all the ethical this, ethical that, it's like, okay, how do you square the idea of like, again, TikTok being beholden to the Chinese Communist Party? That seems like a real, like, you want to sit there and talk about the ethics of American corporations and everything like that. It's like, okay, bet. At least we're not doing the things that they're doing right now to people in China. So, I mean, all these people that are very, again, I've never seen a generation that despises America more than Gen Z. And they use ethics and they use all these moralistic arguments for it. And I'm like, okay, but your favorite platform, and then they talk about environmental concerns and everything like that. It's like, TikTok is one of the least eco-friendly social media platforms that exist. If you watch it, if you go to any of the watchdog websites, TikTok is one of the least eco-friendly content platforms. And then because it's, again, beholden to the Chinese Communist Party in China, again, the biggest right now contributor of carbon emissions is not America, it's China. So there's that aspect of it. I mean, from every kind of moralistic, ethical argument that is aligned with Gen Z's values and Zoomer values, TikTok doesn't make sense for them to support to the extent that they do if they were being consistent on what they say they believe.
Wouldn't you say that
consumers ever really been consistent about stuff like that? Like that could apply to literally anything.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, it doesn't end, right? I mean, it's kind of like The Good Place, #spoilers, where they find out that there's no way to get into the good place because life is so complicated and complex that it doesn't matter how good you are on Earth. It's always going to lead back to something
Gen X was
bad.
consistent. Gen X didn't believe in anything except fighting the system.
I mean, I get your point. It's just I feel like that's like a non-ending. Like that could be applied to like everything.
It is non-ending because there's always going to be something that leads back to something else that
you might find unethical or morally. I agree, but that's my point of like not taking those, like the thing that separates Gen Z from any other generation, and they pride themselves on this, and tell me I'm wrong, is they feel they're the most ethical and conscious generation that's ever existed. And I find that absurd because it's like, okay, and y'all aren't consistent for jack because none of your actions, your rhetoric reflects that, but the consumer behavior of Zoomers doesn't match the rhetoric, and yet they yell at every other generation about it. And again, my issue and my beef largely with TikTok at this point is kind of just like the platform that was supposed to be for the kinder, gentler generation is the most toxic platform in terms of the comments, the user base, the false reporting, the infighting. The politics on there is worse than it is on Twitter, for God's sakes. And it's just really interesting that this is the platform that is the flagship of an entire generation and its cultural phenomenon. And its cultural phenomenon and impact is undeniable. But again, it's the current largest disinformation platform. It's the current largest platform, I feel, for when you look at people going on with no credibility and then saying they're experts or have expertise and everything like that. You have TikTok, you have all these people under 30 who I don't think have ever held a corporate position in their life giving all this financial advice. You have like everybody under 25 on TikTok is a financial expert. All the Forex traders love it.
Those
all
videos are so dumb.
It's like crypto scam mania pump and dumps and everything like that. I mean, there is no accountability in terms of content, in terms of that on TikTok. That's just out there. Scams galore.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I feel like this happens like on Twitter and Reddit, like
not as much in there's no platform where it's as prevalent as far as a video platform as TikTok. Yeah. There's no video platform where that's as prevalent as it is on TikTok. And it's not even close. And then the toxicity of the comments in terms of video platforms specifically, is not as bad as TikTok. And then the most dangerous trends on the internet that are a danger to people's health and safety all originate in TikTok.
Yep. I feel like I'm just not surprised because the internet is just dumb. Like, I feel like it's the community that moves. Like, no matter what platform it's on, this type of stuff is gonna happen regardless.
But that does not, like, dangerous like trends don't happen, don't proliferate, don't go viral and on YouTube anymore, and haven't for a long time. It's all TikTok.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen on Twitch.
I mean, I don't know.
And then the false reporting and deleting of channels is more prevalent on TikTok than it is. That doesn't happen to you as much on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. That doesn't happen as much as far as your stuff getting taken down that way.
Yeah. Their reporting system is garbage. It's literally like anyone can report you for nothing, and then it
Right.
can go through.
But all this sus content stays up.
Yeah.
And misinformation too.
Yeah. Does that have to do with the fact that they are a Chinese company, that they just don't have? I feel like they would have more limitations though, because it is a Chinese company.
Only on the things that matter to them, because you can go ahead and there can be like protest videos of things going on here in the States, but there can't be protest videos of things going on in Asia.
Yeah.
Not allowed. There can be things that you can dunk on almost anybody politically that's here in the West, but you can't dunk on President Xi. That's not allowed, even if you're from here. So
yeah,
you can't even think about it. You can't even think about it. They know if you're thinking about it. You're sitting on the toilet.
Well, it's because of all the security concerns with it's because of like what the programmers found when the programmers ran through the code. They found all this like stuff. It's pretty pretty damning.
It's nasty.
Wait, what do you guys think about the 50-50 creator program though? Because like the big thing that
YouTube
will
is
determine
55-45.
True. But the big thing that's going to determine whether or not like TikTok lives is that the monetization. So
how many people do you really think qualify for it?
Well, it's only going to be like the top. I think the document said top 4% of videos. So,
like that's just it's just like it's this really weird incentive. It's this really weird incentive. I mean, do you really think it's easier to get 100,000 followers on TikTok than it is to get monetized on YouTube?
No,
I'm excited about that.
So.
That's not already made. It should just grind YouTube or Twitch. You should people should just grind YouTube and Twitch.
I think like 100,000 TikTok followers is probably equal to like 10K or maybe just under 10K YouTube.
Status-wise, I'd agree with you, and I've always prefaced that status-wise, but they made a line in the sand and made monetization-wise, they've made the gap they've made it not feel that way from a money standpoint.
Yeah. But a YouTuber with under 10K probably wouldn't be making much AdSense.
Oh, they could make money not only with the AdSense, but in so many other ways. It depends on their niche.
True.
You could be under 10K and you could still be getting brand deals if you're depending on what your niche is. You could definitely get some good brand deals. In terms of ad revenue, it depends because you might not have you could have those subscribers, but you might be getting views, or you might have a really good CPM niche, or again a niche that lends itself to affiliate revenue, or a niche that moves product. Even if you wanted to move product in TikTok, it's actually really hard because again, that audience is not a buying audience.
Yeah. That's been like my big thing with TikTok is conversions. Like at least now the people over 100K can
TikTok's
hopefully
great.
Make some AdSense.
TikTok's great for people under 25 that don't need a lot of money.
I think TikTok's great for networking. That's
networking?
Yeah.
It's called LinkedIn.
To find like community, not like that's. I think there's a lot of different types of people on there. I have Discord too. Like if you want to find different people and people with like-minded interests.
Oh, that's called Twitter.
Yeah, but not as many young people are on Twitter. Like I think.
Are you serious?
Okay, they are on Twitter, but like on TikTok, you can. Like the amount of young girls I found who are into editing and video on TikTok is ridiculous. Like it's way easier to just find them than on any other platform. So
how are you finding them?
Just organic. Like literally anytime I see a video, like anytime a video pops up from a girl who's doing something, editing, photography, like anything, I'm like follow immediately because I'm adding
to the algorithm.
You don't feel you could find those people on Instagram or YouTube? Or in Twitter, or in editing Twitter?
No, I've done that. Trust me, I've been there. I do the same thing on Twitter. I'll go through and like the way on Twitter I found helps is like I'll go through other girls who edits following list, and I found people that way, but it's a lot slower. This is just like I can see what they're doing. I don't have to like do any outside research on them, see if they have like a YouTube or something. It's a lot, and also TikTok is like location based. So I found a lot of people in LA who do this stuff.
Well, that's fair.
So I just think it's easy to like connect with people through that because you can see what they're doing.
I could see culture and community being culture and community, I think, are the things that make platforms. And
Yeah.
in particular, I feel like that's.
It's not just me, is it?
Okay, no.
All right. Am I back?
Hello?
Am I frozen? Am I back?
You're back.
Yes, you're back.
Okay. Like, I feel like culture and community are what make platforms, not features. To be honest, I've always felt culture and community and the content that's there make or break a platform. And TikTok has had an advantage of being the only thing doing its thing for a good minute, and the only thing that felt innovative for a good minute, because other platforms have matured, so they didn't need to innovate that much. To the extent that their way of innovating is just stealing other people's stuff. But the thing is, okay, is the culture and the cultural relevance and impact of TikTok sustainable?
I mean, I personally don't see it dying down anytime soon.
Do you think that the next generation is going to feel about TikTok the way that the current generation feels about TikTok?
I mean, no, but the
They'll likely
generation
have-
now doesn't feel the same way that they did about YouTube.
I disagree. YouTube is still a place where all right, everyone you know.
It's just because the culture's
Hang on.
changed.
Everyone you know, tell me the truth. Everyone you know, would they rather have 10 million TikTok followers or a gold play button in YouTube?
Oh no, I'm not. I completely agree with that one. It's a YouTube.
And do you think
YouTube
anyone in
no-brainer.
Gen Z, do you think there's anyone in Gen Z who would rather have 10 million TikTok followers than a gold play button in YouTube?
I actually don't know. I feel like if some people were not prioritizing like the creator side and they just wanted to be able to do their own thing, TikTok is lower effort.
But people who do that aren't worried about having 10 million followers.
No, but if you ask someone the question, they would probably say TikTok.
Someone who cares about being known as a creator, someone who cares about being not some hobbyist, someone who cares about being a creator.
Some people really love short form now. I don't really know. I think it would
YouTube has short form content.
Yeah, but it's not the same like.
Do you think someone would rather would someone rather be a YouTube Shorts creator who has a gold play button or have 10 million TikTok followers?
I don't know.
It would depend. I think it would depend on who you talk to.
I guarantee you, for most people, even people in Gen Z, they want the damn play button.
I definitely think it would be mostly like the YouTube, but I think there would be. I don't think it'd be like a 80-20. I think it'd be like a 60-40 split.
I think it'd be an 80-20.
What if
TikTok? This is a good whole idea.
What if TikTok came out with
if TikTok or if all the platforms just had their own awards, then people would be more platform agnostic. And people would I guarantee you, even without giving creators money, even if they can give creators money, I guarantee you right now, if Instagram rolled out an award, a physical trophy that they mail to your house, I guarantee you people would be like, I'm gonna get my Instagram up this year. I guarantee you. It's not even close. I bloody guarantee you that that's the case.
That YouTube adds a level of credibility that TikTok just doesn't.
Yeah. But there's also a time where YouTube didn't have credibility.
When?
Either. Back in the day.
But I think the point is that it still is the king in terms of credibility. Like,
yeah,
if you say that you're a TikToker, they're like, oh, that's cool. But then if you say like you're a YouTuber, right, and you've got the play button and like you got your whole business set up, then it's like, oh, wait a second, let me pay attention to what this guy's saying, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Like it's like, and it's not even close. It's not even close. The doors that are open even to YouTubers whose glory days are well behind them exceeds old YouTubers whose glory days are behind them that pull less views than I do, but still have the status of their gold play button, have more opportunities than kids with 1 million TikTok followers. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you think so, if you really think about it, there's kids on TikTok that are getting millions of views a month right now, and they do not have the opportunities and will not have the opportunities that an OG, almost semi-retired, irrelevant YouTuber with a gold play button that's not even clearing 500,000 views a month. A YouTuber with only 500,000 views or less a month, who hasn't been viral in years, whose glory days are behind them, who may not have even posted in a year, can have more doors open for them because they have a gold YouTube play button than a relevant TikToker today getting 10 or 100 times as many views as them. You can be 10 times more relevant as a TikToker and not get the opportunities that a YouTuber with a gold play button has.
I agree.
You could be you can have millions of TikTok views. You could have millions of TikTok followers and not get what I get as with a silver play button.
But there's also a lot of, I think that's one of the, I don't disagree. Like in general, that's definitely true. I think, but there is the fact on TikTok, just because there's potential to get so many eyeballs that you can get really cool opportunities if you brand yourself properly. And even if you don't, to be honest, but like if you're looking at doing a long term thing.
Tell me what you think gives you more opportunities. Let me ask you this. What gives you more opportunities? 10 million and 10 million in Instagram.
10 million on what? What did you say?
What gives you more opportunities? 10 million on TikTok or 10 million in Instagram?
I'd say right now TikTok.
I would say Instagram.
Instagram.
I would say Instagram, because even at the most basic level, like one of my good friends, he does Instagram full time, and he has maybe 100,000 or maybe 200,000. I don't know if he's hit 200K yet, but that's not remotely close to 10 million on Instagram, and he does it full time. And he's worked with like Jeep, like all of the biggest like named brands that you could possibly think of. He's had a lot of opportunities, been able to travel, done like speaking engagement, is working on his book now. So like he's had a lot of like these really like big name kind of opportunities that you would think that only like Brad Pitt would have. But no, it's just like this guy who has like maybe 200K on Insta.
Someone with 100,000 on Instagram could be making 6 or 7 figures, regardless of niche, even just as a lifestyle influencer or an entertainer. If you have 100,000 on Instagram, just remember, y'all, I can get like 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 deals on just my Instagram without my YouTube, and I'm at less than 25,000. Someone at 100,000, someone like Sarah Dici at 100,000, someone like Brett Conti, they get bags on Instagram at 100,000 subscribers. They get like $20,000 brand deals for individual campaigns on their Instagram multiple times a year. These people make like $250,000 a year on their Instagram with 100,000. You don't make $250,000 a year with 100,000 on TikTok.
From what I've heard,
$1 million on TikTok doesn't get you invited to a red carpet, but $1 million on Instagram does.
Yeah. From what I've heard, this one guy, he said that he was making like 3,000 or 4,000 off of each post, like off of a branded post on TikTok, and he's got over $1 million.
That sounds about right, actually. That's about what I hear from him. That's what I
kind of comparable to what you just said right now.
Yeah. It's not even like I get better for my brand deals with 25K on Instagram than kids with 1 million.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't disagree. I agree with most of this. It's just, I think what's cool with what's happening right now on TikTok is that there are opportunities kind of like all the other platforms where if you want to be more serious and if you want to, be like a full-time creator and niche down and like build a business around what
I
you're
know
doing.
people who've done that though on
It's
TikTok.
becoming more
like
and more. But it's gonna happen just as the platform continues to grow. Like unless
it's been around for a while.
up.
TikTok's been around for a while, and it musically was
people are starting
popular.
to make money.
And people was, but not at the rate that things that have been around less time. It's in some cases have made money or been around the same amount of time. If you go back to when Musically has been around almost as long as Instagram at this point, and Musically is TikTok, and
it like completely changed. Like that.
Fair enough. The same thing with Twitch, though. Same thing with Twitch, and Twitch changed too. And like, I just don't think there's like, I think that, and they just figured out a partner program. Like, really? Again, granted,
I agree. It took a while.
like, okay. And so there's a lot, like, I don't think, I understand the cultural relevance of it. Look, if you're a musician, great, get TikTok and go on the billboards. You're a rapper, you're a pop star, you're like, yeah, go to the moon or whatever. Or if you again become like a mega TikToker with like tens of millions, okay, yeah, but like, who's that going to be? How many people is that going to be? And even compared to, again, just being a even even not being a relevant YouTuber, you can make a living and not even be a relevant YouTuber. You can make a living and not even be relevant on Twitch. There is nothing that's life-changing for you on TikTok unless you become relevant. You could be like, again, you could be an irrelevant Instagram personality and do well. Like,
you can also niche down on TikTok.
To what?
Just like you would on YouTube. Like, one of my friends recently, one of my friends, for example, I think she's under 100K still, is really into skateboarding. And so she's had opportunities to work with Braille through TikTok and is on like Braille's, she pops up in their YouTube videos sometimes and she's on their like fingerboarding team. I don't know how much she gets paid. I haven't asked, but
she'd be better off if she had if she had the same amount of followers in Instagram, it'd be better. If she had a fraction of the followers in Instagram, it'd be better.
But she doesn't.
It was easier for her to grow and reach that audience through TikToks.
It was easier for her to reach that size, but again, she wouldn't need to reach that size to get those opportunities on Instagram.
Question: is she doing anything to get them off the platform?
I honestly don't really know. I haven't looked into her stuff too much.
I doubt it, just because, again, people in the TikTok culture don't usually, I've noticed this, there are exceptions. People in TikTok culture don't go off a platform and they don't build out a brand ecosystem. Their goal is to be as big as they can on TikTok. If they're, in some cases, the most they do is they repost to Instagram and they try to get that up a little bit.
But see, that's the thing. I don't know if she could have grown her following and gotten these opportunities if she had done the same thing on like Reels, because she wouldn't have reached the same.
It wouldn't be just Reels. And again, it wouldn't have been the same audience, but I think it could have been just as valuable an audience. And the thing is, the variation of people. How many people do either of you know that watch TikToks and don't have an Instagram profile? There's no one in Gen Z. There's no Zoomer who doesn't have Instagram.
Yeah.
True.
It's not like TikTok is the biggest platform in the world. Instagram has more people. Like,
but are they
16-year-olds are not watching Reels.
Right. Are they hanging out on?
Well, actually they are. But the thing is, again, Instagram is more than Reels. I know Reels is taking over, but people are still growing off of posting photos and selfies and off of also Instagram stories. Those things still work and still reach people. And Reels do go viral and people do grow with Reels. And some people, I've seen enough experiments of people going, oh, I'll do TikTok, YouTube, Shorts, Instagram Reels, so on and so forth. I mean, and proportionately, I do well with Reels, and my stuff isn't even the kind of thing that people would care about. Like, so, I mean, someone skateboarding can definitely do well on Reels. And the thing is, like, and I know this because John Hill and other people that are from that niche and culture, and because of people like Brett And there's things, and the thing is, Instagram would also allow some level of variation too between stories, reels, and post. And the monetization opportunities there are also better than TikTok too, even when it comes to brand, especially when it comes to brand deals. Brands pay better, and there are a lot more opportunities, especially since you don't have to only, even as a skateboarder, she wouldn't have to only post skateboard stuff there. She could also use stories to do some more personal stuff, and then build a audience that's super loyal.
I don't know. I feel like the reason why she's doing so well is because of the community she found over there.
That's
and
possible too.
a lot of the videos, like, I know she's met like a lot of other girls who like to skateboard through her videos on TikTok. And she's found a community there of like young girls who like to skateboard.
Yeah, I'm not completely saying like TikTok is, I understand exactly what you're saying with TikTok, and that's valuable. And I'm not taking away from like her specific outcome there and everything like that. I'm just going by the numbers. I'm just devil's advocate, ruthless numbers, and the ruthless numbers are like. But I also think that people who are on TikTok clearly don't care about money.
Yeah.
I think the generational disconnect.
I used to be like a
huge. Don't care about money.
I used to be like a huge TikTok hater, but I think the more that I learned from my friends who are doing TikTok stuff, and I see them like getting cool opportunities, and
I'm not a hater. I'm a critic. I'm a critic because I as a company, what they're doing a lot of times is like very sus. And then in terms of, and the money's trash. Hank Green is like reamed them enough on that so I don't have to do it again. But like the money's trash. The company is sus, and the platform itself is literally problematic and toxic. And it's not that there's no upside. It's just that like. But again, I can see there are niche culture. Look, if you're a skateboarder, yeah, maybe you should be all in on TikTok. Or if you're a musician, maybe you should be. If you're a musician and you want people to listen to your music, maybe you should be on TikTok. If you're a rapper, maybe you should be on TikTok. If you're a dancer, you should absolutely be on TikTok. But it's like, it's really hard to rationalize it for any other, like for the most part, any other creator that's mad serious about their career that's not already a big TikToker or not already an outlier case.
One thing I feel like with YouTube when before, and this has been like a shift over the past 3 years, and this is just me talking, I don't know. But I think before, like, YouTube was, you could make videos targeted towards specific audiences, and then you would find like a community that way of like-minded people. But now it kind of feels like you have to cast the net a little bit wider and kind of, narrow down who sticks around based on the niche of your channel from there. On TikTok, it kind of feels like the opposite, where you can make more niche content and it shows up.
I don't understand how those are different. Like YouTube is literally make content for this group of people and you will get this group of people. And then what you're saying is TikTok is make stuff for this group of people and get this group of, it sounds like we're literally saying the same thing. I just think that the numbers.
Let me try and re-explain that.
I just think that the allure of TikTok, no one would give a shit about TikTok if they couldn't go viral.
I want to re-explain.
No one would give a shit about TikTok if they couldn't go viral. If TikTok did not offer viral vertical videos, if it was just vertical videos and you weren't going instant and people didn't go instantly viral and people didn't blow up and people didn't get millions of views for low effort content, no one would give a shit about TikTok.
All right, Audrey.
No, okay, let me re-explain this point. On TikTok, there's like, you can be on different sides of TikTok. Like I could be on Skate Talk, right? And I get a lot of videos about skateboarding, even if they have less views, just because I've shown more interest in that by being organically served content about skateboarding. All right, but then if I go onto YouTube, maybe I've like subscribed to a couple people who are larger creators and make skateboarding content, but I might not be recommended smaller channels who make skateboarding content.
Go into your YouTube history today, erase your watch history right now, and then go back into YouTube and watch 4 videos in a row on skateboarding, and you'll literally have exactly the same thing as the.
But here, okay, but then even though I am this is hypothetical. I cannot skate. If I was very interested in skateboarding, but I'm not being served content in a way that is appealing to me. Like I might really love this video if I actually clicked on it, but then there's
if you watch
a random
3 or
Mr. Beast
4
video. Hold on. And there's like a random Mr. Beast video next to it. I'm like, yo, this dude just jumped out of an airplane with no parachute. I click on that instead of the skateboarding video, and I never get to see the dope skateboarding.
If I clear my history right now, and I watch nothing but anime videos, I will not get a Mr. Beast video.
I don't doubt that, but I'm just saying, like, normal people don't, like, even if they're really interested in something, they don't watch just that because it's more.
No, I'm saying if you watch anything you watch 3 or 4 of a row in, will dominate your YouTube homepage and your recommendations. Like that's it.
But it's getting people to like click on those videos when you might be distracted by something else that keeps your attention. Whereas on TikTok, it's just served to you.
TikTok lets you be lazy. Got it.
Yeah, but in the sense that it's like, it's not.
Is that something to
be lazy? But it's almost like feeding you content based on your interests and not really stopping you from watching specific content based on the packaging.
YouTube, but like here's the thing, like you go through a lot of garbage content when you don't have it based on packaging. Like there's only so much gold you missed because of bad packaging. Because the reality is, someone who doesn't put effort into the packaging often doesn't make good content. Like like there are exceptions, but more often than not, have either of you, like, when's the last time either of you somehow, some way ended up when's the last time you were on YouTube and found a diamond in the rough?
What? Right. Okay. Well, what do you mean a diamond in the rough? Like
I would have not expected this content to be as good as it is, or, oh my God, this content is amazing, but the packaging was trash. A diamond in the rough. It's like,
I feel like that happens. It's rare, but it does happen.
Rare as hell. Rare as hell. There's a reason. I hate to be a snob about it. There's a reason that 60% of all videos on YouTube don't get 1,000 views. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And like, again, with TikTok, it's like, it's really good that you can scroll and swipe up and everything like that, because it's like, there's a lot of not great content there too. It's not like there's nothing but good content there. And so it's like, I just feel like, again, it's appealing to people to some extent that just don't want to work as hard as YouTube requires. And that's fine. But that's why YouTube is still the golden gem of content creation and is still the thing that people respect the most, because it deserves to be, because it is harder to do YouTube than it's harder to grow an audience on YouTube than it is on TikTok. It's harder to grow an audience on Instagram than it is on TikTok. Absolutely it is. And guess what? So how much do we celebrate things that people did that weren't hard? We don't celebrate things that weren't hard, not compared to things that are hard. Not compared to things that are hard. We celebrate things that take more effort and more difficulty because that's what merit is. That's what merit is. So TikTok is the lowest version of that. It's like, oh, you can get somewhere. And it's not to say that there's no merit to TikTok. It's saying, though, okay, but you can't get nearly that in these other places. And there's a reason for it, and it's much more difficult, and the standards are higher, and it's judged more and stuff like that, which is also why it pays better, It pays in proportion to the level of difficulty.
Yeah. I agree.
Again, I'm not hating. I mean, there's TikTokers I like, and there's friends and colleagues and even clients of mine that are TikTokers. I'm just saying, as a platform, there's a lot to criticize. As a culture and a cultural phenomenon, there's a lot to criticize there. And again, it's like, it's not that I'm saying, oh, it's so easy to make TikToks. I'm saying relative to growing an audience in all these other platforms, there's tiers of difficulty. And the reason that so many young people love TikTok and so many older people that were left behind technologically when it comes to YouTube and other platforms, there's a reason why people go to TikTok to go blow up. And a lot of it is like you can just randomly, for no reason, go viral into TikTok. That doesn't happen in YouTube.
Yep. I agree. What do you think, Romina? I get to ask you this time.
I've been saying
What?
I've been saying what I thought.
Mm.
But speaking of like, old folks and young folks and everything like that, we get to my weird news topic. My weird news topic is apparently there's this phenomenon in, I want to say it was, Romina, do you remember if it was Japan or was it China?
I'm pretty sure it was China.
I think it was China.
I'm like 85% sure it was China.
I'm almost positive it was China. So weird news. Speaking of China and speaking of old and young people, so apparently there was this young woman in China who was scamming the government by collecting her grandfather's pension. And the only reason they found out because they were getting ready to go give him an award. Congratulations on living so long. Like, because he was over 100 years old or whatever. But it turns out that every time people tried to show up, that the granddaughter was turning them away and saying he's asleep or he doesn't want company or whatever. And eventually people got concerned. And so they went in and, forced their way in. And it turns out that this person was dead for the last 30 years. And what happened was his granddaughter was collecting his pension and his senior benefits for the last 30 years. And they only found out because it's like, oh, congratulations for being over 100 years old. And so it was scams. It was massive scam. And the thing is, they found him mummified in his bed. And it's just crazy. Okay, I'm just not going to move him. He died in his sleep. I'm just not going to move him. And it just got to the point where he just sat there and decomposed and mummified and hardened over the course of 30 years. And that was that. It's crazy. And again, it's like, I'm going to just scam the government, just keep collecting these checks and these benefits, just turn everyone away and sit in this apartment for 30 years and pay the bills. And so then the government was like, well, how many other like elderly people are out there with people just collecting their benefits and we don't have an accounting of whether they're alive or not? And and it turns out it was a lot of people. They went and they did the research and found out it was a lot of people. It's just crazy, right?
We're saying, why didn't they dispose?
Because it's harder to dispose of the body than it is to just never have any guests over.
The good news is because he clearly died of natural causes, by not disposing of the body, the only crime that was committed was fraud, and it was only a 2-year prison sentence. Which can also be, some of that could be commuted or whatever.
Who's really winning here?
Like what?
Who's really winning?
So you got to scam the government for 30 years, and you only do 2 years in jail.
That's a good deal. I don't know. I do 2 years.
Excellent deal. That's an excellent deal. 30 years of living off the government, scamming, taking this money, these senior benefits, this pension. That's a lot of money to be scamming. And you only do 2 years of time? Man, that's a sweet deal.
So what about the smell?
The thing is, I'm not sure that ended up really being like, you would think. Huh?
It didn't end up being an issue?
I mean, I guess you just closed the door. Because again, there wasn't enough of a smell for what had happened for it to even affect the neighbors or anything like that through the ventilation and everything. And in China, those apartments, everyone's built right on top of each other. So apparently it wasn't a big deal, or she accommodated somehow, or because again, different than America, they live differently and they eat differently than Americans and everything like that. So maybe a decomposing body isn't as bad or foul if you eat clean, for all I know, so I'm just saying though, your boy here probably would have just disposed of the body.
I think that was a bit excessive to just let the
again, the problem is then you have the crimes of the filing of a corpse
Right.
and things like that, or mistreating of a.
It's like, oh, oops, we didn't notice he was dead.
Up
We
the
thought he was
ante.
sleeping.
Yeah, like how do you get around that anyway?
You get a pet pig and you can like feed the body a piece at a time, and then it's like disposed of.
All right. Okay. So anyway, Andy Japandy in the chat.
No.
Oh, you mean don't tell people how to commit felonies and dispose of evidence, right?
So Andy Japandy says, I've heard of these scams in Japan too. That's why they make calls every few months to make sure.
Yeah, but you could always get around that.
I guess you could, but at some point, maybe like,
30 years.
Yeah, I mean, 30 years of like evasion seems a bit.
That's some hardcore. That's like, wow. Carol Baskin territory. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not far. Well, if you got a couple of tigers in the backyard, you might as well use
Well, no,
them.
again, pigs are like pets that like people are like, oh, okay. And then like, so like really people treat like pigs basically like dogs, especially over there. And so it's not that big.
Yeah.
And they'll eat anything. They'll literally eat anything, and their system can like digest like anything. So again, it'd probably be the best bet.
I don't want to think of Babe.
Oh, poor
part
Babe.
Whatever
Babe.
atrocity you're planning.
I ain't doing nothing.
Don't ruin my childhood. What do you think about all this, Audrey? What do you think about these
think
ladies?
They should have just burned it.
Of course you would come up with that one. Of course you would.
Just go on nowhere and burn it, and just I don't know.
I think the burning would have
And
definitely
what?
been the
It
smell.
doesn't matter. And
That
like,
would have
what do
been
you-
the smell that triggered people off. Like, that's the
No.
that makes it
Nowhere.
worse, right? Because then you'd be charged for that. It's like, right?
You're the most likely to get caught in that.
True.
If you're doing that, that's the way you're most likely to get caught.
That's true.
That would be sus, right? Even if he did die like of natural causes, I would be like, okay, well, why did you just?
I guess the way
it's-
you would theoretically see. The other thing is, depending on where they find it, again, if they're for some reason someone's suspicious of something, and then they test the ashes, then they get back a result and they know who that is, and then that gets back to you, because then you're the most likely candidate.
True. I don't know. I need to brush up on my body disposal knowledge.
I suppose in theory you could always figure out
All right,
somewhere.
this podcast has gone off the rails.
No, there's no way. As long as there's ashes for them to test, it gets back to you. And the only other out that you have is those with you. So you can't just go to a place that has a furnace to just away from you to dispose of it, because then if someone's like, oh, the smell, and then if it's ever tested, then you're like, so like that's not really as good an option. So like it has.
What'd you do with the pig?
Oh, again, that's just going through the digestive tract. So that's not
Okay.
yeah. That's why it's the most practical answer. Is like, and no one's
What
going
do you
to.
mean? What do you do with the pig?
And no one's going to check the pig droppings. No one's going to like when something is animal droppings. The animal droppings are the thing that's not going to be tested. No one's going to bother, like, because there's nothing sus about
What if
animal
they
droppings.
test the DNA of the pig?
They have no reason to.
No. What you do is you sell the pig. You just give the pig to someone.
yes.
Go to like a farm and be like, hey, I don't want this pig anymore. Do you want it?
I think
And
the
they're gonna
stomach
take it.
acid would definitely dispose of I think the stomach acid disposes of the teeth. Like, but even if they don't, again, it'll be in animal droppings. Unlikely that the animal droppings are ever discovered, tested, or even like looked at in any way. That's why that's the most practical
Well,
answer.
especially if you gave the pig to some farmer somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Just make sure they don't eat it.
Yeah, no, anything with anything disposal that requires chemicals. Again, the purchase of the chemicals is what traces back to, because then that's all in a database. So that's not what you would want.
It's not an idiot.
Yeah, it's not practical. Again,
What if
this is
you
true
drop it
crime.
out
We're
of the
not.
air?
We're not. This is just a true crime type situation. This.
We do not condone.
What if you put it on a rocket and just
Body.
throw it into space?
What'd you say?
Getting rocket stuff and everything puts you on a list. Talk to Elon about that.
Put them in a rocket, send it to space.
See,
No one
like
will find
again,
it.
see how absurd we're being at this point.
I just don't like the idea of feeding an animal the remains of your grandfather.
I'm not saying I like this idea. I'm just saying it's like they did this really absurd thing where their answer was to leave the mummified corpse in the bed where it lay. That's like
That's wild.
that's wild, right?
That is. I don't know how they did. They just like never open that door. There's no way you can go into that room.
Basically, or again, maybe they just maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
at some point, once it decomposes enough, then
Well, I think it's because again, remember we talk about mummification, so like it got to a point where it just started to go into harden. It's like it's just like it's hardened
How
now,
long
so
does
it's like
that take?
I don't think it takes as long as you would think in terms of God, what do they call it?
I think it
What-
depends on like
what,
the room, the environment in the room.
In terms of God, there's a
So
So
process.
you have like bug problems?
Not necessarily.
Well,
Not
I don't even want to think about
You're going way too far at this rabbit hole. I don't want to think about it.
having an all you can eat.
No.
Okay, so I know the process I'm looking for now is desiccation. See, you guys, like I think it's more that what happened in this case is, especially like older people, like get like see someone who's super elderly already. Because again, you're talking about someone who died at like 80. You know, you're talking about someone who passed away at like 80 something. So the thing is, it's less decomposition as much at that point as it's desiccation.
Oh, God.
So there's not like a lot of like, you know, I mean, yes, the organs and stuff, but it's like it's more that they're going to dry and shrivel up and then calcify more than it's going to be like the decomposition that you're thinking of, the rotting and all that stuff. That's for young people. Young people like decompose. Old people mostly desiccate.
That's good to know. I really did not need.
How old was he died?
Like 80 something.
Mm.
Because again, remember they were giving him an award for being
Right.
like
Like
so
over 100, right?
like yeah. So he was like late 70s, early 80s, because they were like, oh, congratulations for being one of the longest lived people. Or like, yeah. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like at that point they should have known, right? Like, there's no out. Like, once you commit to 30 years, what are you going to do? Oh, sorry. I forgot too much. Like, they're going to jail.
Well, he's
either
been
way.
awfully quiet for. Well, no, the big thing was again, it wasn't leaving the body. Leaving the body would not have constituted any real crime. It was the fraud. It was taking all the retirement pension and the senior citizen benefits. It was the fraud.
Yeah.
So they went for fraud. But
So
the thing
if
is,
you
there's only
commit
so
that
much fraud.
you know
Only
it's
so much of
gonna
the fraud.
come back.
Most of the fraud would have passed the statute of limitations. That's why I think the sentence was only like 2 years. Because
But
most
I
of it
feel
was
like-
beyond statute of limitations.
Why would someone commit that though if they know that it's going to?
Free money.
Yeah, but at one day it's gonna come. Like you can't.
They
hide
got
it.
away for 30 years.
It's free money with the price of 2 years in jail.
It's not that
And
bad.
that's a pretty good
30 years.
that's a steal.
It is a steal, but they didn't know it was gonna last 30 years.
No, but
You
it
know?
did. So like
That's a
think about it like
wild
this. Think about it like
gamble.
this. Let's assume that for whatever weird reason, like I mean, I don't even know what this dude's pension or whatever was like or what his senior benefits was like, but think about it like this. Like let's just say it was low. Let's just say it's like 20,000 a year, which is like low. Like American to China conversion notwithstanding, right? But like 30 years, that's like more than $500,000. People commit crimes for less. And again, I think I'm lowballing it. I think I'm lowballing it. I think I'm lowballing it. I mean, this is just like
That is absolutely what he's
A
saying.
good return on investment.
that's like $1 million. Yes, it's spread out over 30 years, but it's $1 million.
Yeah.
People commit crimes
That's
for
not a bad
less.
deal.
And again,
Honestly, it's
$1
kind of
million
maybe they
worth
should
of
have made
fraud.
the
$1
sentence
million
higher.
worth of fraud, 2-year jail sentence though.
Because
$1
like I
million
feel like if
worth of
I was
fraud,
reading this and
free
I
and
was
clear,
desperate,
free and clear, and you're
I'd be
free and
like,
clear, and you don't go to jail, you don't do time until 30 years later, and it's only 2 years. Whoa, that's
I'm
like
surprised they give him 2 years.
her.
Her 2 years. Because like, what type of example is this making? Get like $500,000, but only 2 years in prison.
Your granddaddy dies, look the other way.
Let him mummify in your living room.
We're in here.
Here's the thing though. In America, the difference is if your grandparents or your parents had life insurance, you get more declaring them dead than trying to scam their benefits because the life insurance pays better than the pension here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they have life insurance.
Yeah, if they have life insurance. But by the way, in my mind, there's like very little reason not to have life insurance. It's like wildly affordable, especially if we ever get sponsored.
Unless you get started late in life, then it might not be as.
Yeah, then if you get but one of the best term life insurance is one of the best investments anyone can do in this country. If they actually care about their children or grandchildren or someone in their family, siblings, whoever, spouses getting getting somewhere or having something or being secure. Most of the poverty in America, probably, at least let me put it like this. In the Black and Latino community, most of the poverty in the Black and Latino community could be eliminated in 1 to 2 generations, specifically just by people doing life insurance. I'm not even joking. Given our mortality rates, like term life insurance would be the best thing we could probably do. It's not that expensive.
Someone goes, "Are we sure he died of natural causes?"
I'm pretty sure in his case, given his age, yeah.
What if this was someone getting away with murder?
I doubt it in this case. I mean, in bed, like 80,
maybe they just like
80 years.
Moved a pillow,
There's no point. Like at that age, there's no point. He's gonna
pension.
No, because it's like it just let it happen at that point. I mean, it's gonna be
maybe they just wanted to cut costs. That's so bad. It's so bad.
Romina, what was your topic?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we're killing this,
no.
this moving forward.
No.
Guys, it's almost the end of the podcast, so you're gonna have to excuse me and my dad jokes. So I realized that Joanna Ceddia has not been. It is gone.
Deleted.
From the internet.
Deleted.
I saw that the other day. Why?
YouTube channel.
Killed her channel.
Twitter, Instagram, everything's been obliterated.
She didn't even decide to just leave it up, like for historical.
No. Gone.
She deleted herself from the internet.
All videos, everything gone. And from what I understand, because I did a little bit of digging to try to find out, is
Where
that
in the world is Joanna Ceddia?
Is that there are that there was no last video. There was no goodbye. There was nothing. It was just from one day to the next, just completely gone. So I do know that Joanna, she has eczema, and it got worse. I said it in Spanish. And so she got it got worse while like a little bit after she enrolled in college. And so I know that she was dealing with a lot of stuff and she had to put a pause on her studies because of how bad it was. But she came back and she was making a few videos. So it seemed like morally, like her morale was up, regardless of the trouble that she was going through with her body. But she's just like, she's gone now. I think it's been a few months already. Since she disappeared. So I kept checking up on her like every few months just because I enjoyed watching her videos, not enough to like subscribe and like religiously watch every single one. But I would go on when I wanted to get like a little sprout of of Joanna, and just laugh for like a few minutes because I always thought she was funny. I mean, she is funny. I'm hoping that she's alive. So she is funny. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, what do you guys think about, first of all, why she wouldn't just leave the videos up and, generate revenue from old videos, first of all.
We would just leave them up for the fans. I mean,
And then second of all, because people do actually enjoy, like I used to go back and like watch some of her older stuff because there were some that I just really liked. They had really great rewatchability. So what I saw now was that a fan has gotten all of her old videos that they have and have been uploading them on an archive channel, which I thought was interesting until I don't know if YouTube will ever take it down, but it is a lot of like her older videos up there.
Well, now that she's deleted her channel, there's no real copyright claim issue, and it's just historical content. It's lost footage. It's just lost footage. Yeah, recovered. Lost media. That's the term. Lost media. Now it's just preserving lost media.
The way that everything is gone, this is like this is confirmation that she has deleted her channel, right, Roberto?
Yeah.
Because like there's no channel at all. Like there's no way to just like remove it unless you delete it.
Yeah, no. Yep.
And I mean, I don't even know how many subs she had right before deleting it. I know that it was millions, but like that's insane, right?
It was like over 3 million. And I mean, she had the potential. It was well over 3 million. Maybe it was over 5 million. It's like she could have been a 10 million sub channel at some point. I mean, just like Emma Chamberlain, to be honest with you. I mean, in fact, Joanna Ceddia was the Emma Chamberlain before Emma Chamberlain. And the thing is, and again, I mean, Emma Chamberlain took it the furthest, but again, Joanna Ceddia was that first like quirky girl culture type creator before Emma Chamberlain and before Kelly Stamps. It was Joanna Ceddia, and but I think here's my theory. My theory is who she was then is so far removed from how she feels about herself now that she didn't want everything that comes along with that just existing, and wanted, much like a normal human, to have your past lost to the annals of time and memory. I think that when you become an influencer young and you get this notoriety and you have a big stuff and you have a fan base, you're in a very precarious position where everyone else gets to leave their past behind, grow up and move on, and leave the person they were behind and evolve and change and grow. But if you grow up on the internet, you don't get to do that, which is why I'm actually against starting young and growing up on the internet in that way. For most people, it's not necessarily good for your mental health. And then if you also are then someone who anything happens to in terms of your physical health or how your appearance is and stuff like that, it's this constant reminder and expectation of a person you'll never be again. And that can cause all kinds of other mental issues.
I feel like one of the things I noticed with Joanna early on is that she never really wanted to be a YouTuber. Like, she made these videos kind of for fun. And I think she was kind of shocked by how quickly everything blew up. So I know that like she finished, or she was in school, and she always seemed to be very focused on that. And even talked about wanting to, basically have like a normal life and just do videos to make some just for fun. And then also now make some extra
an amount of money that was just like, oh, I never expected that. Like, young people who make money on the internet, I think that young people, as you already know, Audrey, and you've known this from hanging around young people your own age and younger and everything, and you grew up like here in Georgia, so it's a little different. And then also because your parents are older, it's a little different. You understand this when I say it. young people don't have a concept of money, especially not large sums of money. It's not real to young people. Large sums of money aren't real to young people. They don't have a sense of it, which is why they're the most vulnerable to like predatory loans and gambling and bad investments and FOMO and other things, is because they have no sense of money, right? When you become like a successful YouTuber or something really young, or a successful influencer really young, and you're getting like thousands upon thousands of dollars, and you've never had a regular job before, it messes with your head. And again, when you realize, oh my God, I'm making more money than my parents have made at the peak of their career, it's something that becomes, even if you ever had wanted just a normal life, it becomes hard to justify or rationalize doing normal people stuff when you have this opportunity that no one gets to have.
Yep. I think it was just too much for what she wanted to do.
Oh, it's normal. Most normal people. Here's the thing. Millions of dollars aside, millions of dollars, life-changing opportunities and stuff aside and everything like that. Does anyone here want to be one of those Viners that became YouTubers? Does anyone here want to actually be, would you trade places with any of those people?
Nope.
No.
Right. They're all worth, every one of them has a net worth of 2 million to 20 million. And we're sitting here and we literally, when we ain't got that money, and we literally are like, ain't worth it. Ain't worth it. I don't wake up and be like, yeah, I'd trade places with Logan Paul or Jake Paul. I don't wake up and think that ever. Like, there's no way. There's no way, you know?
I do not.
I would not, look, I would not trade places with Dobrik. Harem aside. Like, look, I wouldn't trade places with Dobrik for the money. Maybe the harem. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, there's that's the only upside. Like,
Yeah.
that's that for just real talk. Just me. Like, so, nah, couldn't do it. Now, that being said, the money doesn't make that kind of thing worth it, because also they never got to, like, some people would argue that, like, oh, it's not so great, but they never got to have a normal transition of adolescence to adulthood. And the thing is, not having that, it has consequences later in life. Hard and miserable as being a normie from ages 17 to 25 is, there are consequences from not getting to have a normal adolescence into young adulthood from ages 16 and 17 to ages 21 through 25. Like, there are consequences for that in terms of your life and your mental health and everything. There's consequences for being under a microscope every day and having hundreds of thousands or millions of people looking at every aspect of what you do and being emotionally invested in you one way or another, love or hate. There are consequences for living that life ages 17 through 25, I promise you. And I don't think that millions of dollars is enough to make up for it. If I'm being very real, very serious, there are things that are worth sacrificing for millions of dollars. I don't think ages 17 through 25, in terms of being a public figure, are that. I don't have a problem with what Graham Stephan did with leaving high school and then real estate hustling ages like 19 through 26 to make $1 million, to be worth $1 million. That makes more sense. That makes, because he wasn't a public figure.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
I like, so if you're going to do a startup or you're going to grind or whatever to be a millionaire before 25 or 30, that makes more sense than being a public figure.
It's tough. It's hard, especially during that age range. There's so much that you're still discovering about yourself as an adult, which I think are very important and crucial things to understand about yourself, that can be very difficult to do when there's a lot of noise, such as fans or followers. It can make it so much more challenging.
The only real healthy example we have of it, if you want to call it a healthy example, is Mr. Beast. And that's it. And that's literally it.
Yeah, but I think also too is, I think so part of Mr. Beast's strategy is that he approached YouTube with a very business-like mindset. And I think that he had very precise strategy of like the different milestones that he wanted to hit, and was very logical and reasonable about everything that he's done. It hasn't been like an overnight success or like a kind of
but he's an anomaly in it's not in just his success. He's an anomaly in the fact that he didn't let it go to his head, and he did.
Is Marquez.
YouTube was not what he would be a good example, except that
it's not now. That it's not now.
Well, it's not now, but here's the other thing. So Marquez started YouTube like 12 years ago, and 12 years ago. And the thing is, Marquez took longer to become a big YouTuber than people realize. And like, he really wasn't like he wasn't a big YouTuber until he was an adult. He wasn't a big YouTuber until he was over 18. Like, for sure. Like maybe 19 or 20 even. Maybe 19 or 20 even. So he was like a small YouTuber long enough, and he was in the early beginning days of YouTube, like when it was not like, he started YouTube in like 2010, I want to say, and he wasn't big or relevant on YouTube until 2016, like 2016, like maybe 2017 even. And the thing about that is, with him being an early YouTuber, there was no fame in YouTube, and there was no clout, and there was no mainstream culture of YouTube until after he was already an adult. So the thing is, it didn't interrupt his childhood in any way. Plus, the way his parents were in Jersey, he had to focus on school. So he had school, sports, and YouTube. And so he got to graduate from high school, and then YouTube wasn't growing in itself, and he was already in college. So it wasn't I'm gonna like not go to college and be a YouTuber. He was actually like able to like, I can afford to go to any college because of YouTube, and because I didn't spend money outside of like religious channel stuff. And like, he went to college, it blew up while he was in college, but also he was making videos while he was in his college dorm room, and he was big, but he wasn't like mega yet. And he was there and he was doing that. And by the time he left college, he was a mega YouTuber by the time he left college, but he got to have a traditional regular college experience. Today's YouTubers are not doing that. Like, and a lot of them, they're either borderline dropping out of high school or skipping college altogether, which, by the way, not everyone needs to go to college, by the way, especially if you're already successful. But it's not YouTube has a short shelf life for most people anyway, in terms of it being a viable career or a full-time gig. Even being YouTube famous has a short shelf life. You can look at Blozell, or you could look at Toby Turner as a good example of the short shelf life of being a relevant, successful YouTuber. When you really look at it, there's few examples of people who got into this young and it didn't go to their head, especially more recent people. But even with OGs, there's few OGs like Marquez and Justine that are even still around. Having a 10-year plus career on YouTube is not a 10-year plus career of making it on YouTube or having, success. It's not a thing for most people on the platform. It's just not even people who get to 100,000 subscribers. Most of them don't get to have a 10-year career. Most people even got gold play buttons. Most of the people who have gold play buttons don't get to have a 10-year career, let alone a 15-year career. Like, it's not.
Would you say that in Joanna's case, would you commend her for what she's done?
For having the self-awareness to make a choice personally, like the one for making a choice, about how you want to handle it. One thing I disagree with is, I understand, and then maybe it's what she needed to do, or what her therapist might recommend as far as deleting everything. I feel like for everything the fans do for a creator, I don't like that. But if you have to for your mental health, so be it. Or you have to because it triggers you in terms of how you feel about your body today versus back then, or something like that. I could see that, being a thing. So if you have to, you have to. But for everything the fans do, I think taking the history and the celebration of everything we've accomplished away from them, I don't like that. And I don't like not giving the fans a proper goodbye. I don't like those things. But for doing what you need to do for your mental health, I'll commend anyone for that. But with a public figure and with a creator, especially in YouTube, I think that the fans are owed. They're like, people go, oh, you don't owe the fans. And I'm a person who stands up for boundaries and like, oh, the fans don't own you. But for everything, and especially if you ever get to be a huge creator with millions of subscribers, it's very rare that you haven't made millions of dollars along the way as well. It's very rare that your life hasn't changed forever as a result of that and give you options you would have never had otherwise, especially that early in life. So I feel like the fans are at least owed a goodbye, or owed an exit interview, even if it's on another platform, or owed an explanation that comes from you directly, and a thank you, and until we meet again. I think people are owed that much.
It's not the first time that I've experienced this firsthand. My friend from Iceland, she didn't want to be on YouTube anymore, and she was rather large at the time. Like, she had a significant amount of subscribers and really high engagement. Like, people really loved her. And she like slowly privated all of her videos. So like, she's like, her channel is still there, but like slowly, like her videos just kind of like disappeared. And she didn't make a video. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't do any of that. She just kind of was like, she just disappeared. Another person who has done things the way that you just described, Roberto, is Jenna
Marbles. Yeah.
So yeah, she really felt like not making any videos right now was the correct choice and path for her, but she made a video to explain it, and then she's stuck to it.
She's stuck to it, whereas a lot of people don't. A lot of people make the, I'm going away, and then they come back in less than 6 months.
That like she did remove the videos that made her feel uncomfortable about herself, that she wasn't happy with, and that were not a reflection of who she was presently.
Or even as a person, period. And the thing is, the ones that she removed, especially for the insensitive jokes and everything like that, I didn't care about them. I've seen things like, I grew up in the era of In Living Color, and Living Color wouldn't make it today. I grew up in I grew up in the era where like Glengarry Glen Ross was one of the greatest films of all time, and when and that would not pass muster today. And most of the films I grew up with in the 80s would not like pass people's sensitivities today, and everything that trigger the hell out of them. I would love to lock Zoomers in a room and force them to watch movies from the 80s and everything like that, watch them start foaming at the mouth and everything being triggered by everything we did in the 80s. That was so toxic. It'd be amazing for me. Like
Audrey foaming at the mouth? No,
not Audrey, because Audrey is like actually like one of the only people that's like a good ambassador of her generation. Like
Audrey, wait a second. I got a good question. Audrey, old movie that you've seen that you were surprised got made, like either because the content was inappropriate or you felt like this is like kind of uncomfortable and weird? And
I don't know, man, you know this, I don't watch movies.
But you've seen some movies. Have there been any of those movies, any of the movies that you've seen that were, made?
I mean, I'm sure there are, but again, I'm probably the worst person to be asking.
You can't make any Robert De Niro movie from the 80s or 90s today. Not a single one. Not a single one could you make.
Like, I don't know what that is.
You can't make any Michael Douglas movies today. Like today, you could
not
make.
What do you mean you don't know what that is?
You know who Robert De Niro is?
No, she's talking about. Are you talking about Tropic Thunder?
Oh.
Are you talking about Tropic? Yes, yes or no? Affirmative or Audrey? You're on mute. I don't know what you're. Audrey.
I don't know any of this. All right.
Okay, so she hasn't seen Tropic Thunder. Okay. I don't know what Tropic Thunder is.
It's just disappointing.
Okay.
I don't think you can make any Al Pacino or Robert De Niro movies today. I don't think you could make half of Robin Williams movies today.
I don't think Robert De Niro would appreciate you saying that.
Oh, do I need to pull out his filmography? No, I think he'd agree with me that you can't make his films today and that they wouldn't pass.
No, I mean, maybe he would agree. I'm just saying he probably wouldn't appreciate it.
But you can't. Like, but yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, he's also a little bit like on a little bit
Robin Williams.
Huh?
Definitely not Robin Williams.
No, you cannot make most of Robin Williams' films today. You just really can't. Yeah. Like, you know, interesting. As wholesome as it is, you can't make Mrs. Doubtfire today. As wholesome as it is, you can't make Mrs. Doubtfire today.
Audrey, have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Because that's the movie that got me and my siblings through our parent divorce.
Wait, Audrey, have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Hold on, I'm looking up photo. Oh yes, I have.
Well, the fact that you have to look up a photo.
I need visuals. All right.
Yeah.
Your brain should be it's a movie. You watched it for 2 hours. It should be there should be an image in your brain.
No.
You can't make the Sean Connery James Bond films today.
Oh no. Not
you can't make most of Sean Connery's films, period, today.
Not
which is a shame because he's a freaking treasure. Freaking treasure. Audrey, this is why I hate your generation. They ruin everything for me.
Sorry, Audrey. You got the worst. You got the worst generation.
I don't think so.
My generation didn't crucify the films of the 2 generations before me. We actually did not do that. We did not crucify or try to erase the films.
And there's critique.
No, okay. I'm not saying. I'm saying.
Like,
in my day, like, you could make.
That would be canceled now. But I'm saying. Like, hate on the
I'm saying in my day, you could remake, and you often did. Script like shot for shot, line for line, casting and all, every bad jokes and all. You could make in my era, in my day, in the 80s and 90s. You could make any film that existed in the 60s and 70s. You can make any film. Hell, you can make any film that was in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, and people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, no problems. Like, nah, it's all good. Not gonna be wildly offended. Not gonna give a shit. I would even argue right up until like the early 2000s that was still true. And then 2010s beyond, everything before the year 2000 is off limits. Everything made before the year 2000 is off limits and inappropriate, and you can't do it anymore. And you can't make those jokes. You can't do that casting, and you can't do this, and you can't do those storylines, and you have to change the source material. You can't honor the source material of any damn thing that was made, written, filmed, printed, or screened before the year friggin' 2000, let alone the year 2010 now. And it's a damn shame. And I hate that about Gen Z so much. And I'm just like, I guess I'm just old because I'm almost 40 now. I'm just old. But the thing is, in my 20s, people who were in their 40s and 50s, you could still make their shit. My generation didn't do that to people in their 40s and 50s where you couldn't make the stuff they grew up with. We didn't touch this. We left their, like, we were happy to just let it be. It was fine. I want to take back my lawn. Give me back my lawn.
You should.
Give me back my lawn. Like, no, I think every one of these studios should make the most offensive film they possibly can.
Audrey, can you apologize for your entire generation?
Don't make her do that. No.
What?
No.
I want a formal apology.
What? I didn't do anything.
No, we're not doing that. Audrey's one of the good ones. We don't need her to apologize on behalf of the rest of her generation.
Wow.
I disagree. She was born at the same time as them.
No, she actually, and Audrey,
what?
On the rare occasion, and Audrey on the rare occasion that she actually watches good cinema, actually appreciates it.
As opposed to TikTok.
What? Oh my God.
Did you hear?
You ain't wrong.
Did you guys see? I sent you the Dolly Parton, the Taco Bell thing that she's doing.
I think I did.
Y'all, it was where is it? She's like working on something official. It's like a TikTok movie or something, right?
Oh, you can't make Demolition Man today, even though Demolition Man practically came true. Actually meant.
Bruh.
Oh my god.
My ears.
Sorry.
Bruh.
Oh my god.
All right, guys, there's a link. Check out the link I just sent in the private chat.
Yeah, you can't make Demolition Man today, even though Demolition Man basically came true.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, you see Dolly Parton to star in a musical
Random.
on TikTok about Taco Bell's Mexican pizza.
Oh God.
What do you guys think?
Honestly, how much
that's
was
gonna
she
be-
paid?
Yeah, like she had to get a bag for that. She had to get like
There's
the
no way.
bag. She had to get the bag.
Maybe she was just really passionate about it.
She had to get the bag for that.
The bag with the little dollar sign on it.
Yeah.
It better have been multiple.
I have one of those around here somewhere.
Wait,
She should
really?
have been getting
Yeah.
multiple bags for that one.
Yeah, I have like in my props somewhere. I have like.
I'm gonna remind you to get it for next week.
Well, I
you
have
can-
I have my fake racks. I have my fake racks right
I've
here.
seen those before, though. I haven't seen
Yeah.
the bag.
Mm.
I want to
Yes,
see
you
the
have.
bag. No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Don't tell me what I have and haven't seen. I'm not. I remember what I see.
Damn, son.
All right,
Damn.
you have to roast my memory, Marina. It's fine.
In memory of like.
It's so loud.
It is.
I love
so
how loud
loud.
it is. It adds.
Sorry.
It adds to it. No, I like how loud it is.
It-
I think it adds to it.
It adds to our ratchet.
No, I just think it makes it funnier.
Yeah, it's very lo-fi production.
Wow,
Just out
really?
of nowhere, just extreme.
Roberto's like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm trying to increase production value.
It makes it more memey if it's extremely loud.
Yes,
We get to
rip
keep
to all the
Everyone on their toes.
Hopefully, you're listening to this podcast during
With
your,
headphones.
in your car.
Start spamming all this.
No, I think that was appropriate. I think I put it in the right place.
What other random noise are you going to throw at us today? Don't look over there. I see you.
I'm waiting all.
I hear crickets.
Oh my god.
Either my
Damn.
ears are ringing or I hear crickets.
Mm.
No, I hear that too, Marina.
Okay. So then your ears are ringing too. Roberto has broken our eardrums.
It's fine. Who
All right.
needs eardrums?
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm good with us wrapping this up.
Up to you, Roberto.
I'm good with us wrapping this up. Like we can, like so. I mean,
You got the outro.
Doors
everything.
or what was it? Wheels or windows?
What do you mean?
Which one is there more of on the planet?
Wheels or
No, it was
windows?
supposed to be wheels or doors. It was supposed to be wheels or doors.
Windows.
Wait,
No,
what
it was
is it?
doors. No, the thing was there
it
more wheels or doors?
Oh,
No, it
okay.
was doors.
Wheels or doors.
It was wheels
What
or
is
doors.
this?
You didn't see this, Marina?
No.
It was the big question that everyone was arguing.
Yeah, it was a
about.
big thing. And I'm pretty
It's definitely
sure.
wheels.
No, I'm pretty sure it's doors.
What?
Or doors?
Why would you think it's wheels?
Factories.
Because there are more transportation.
Doors
Cars.
include every house has how many doors, including how many cabinet doors.
Well, hold on. Wait a second. So here's another thing too: is how many of those modes of transportations also have doors?
Have
right?
doors, exactly.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, but like wheels.
Okay, so like think about it
On
like this.
everything.
What do you think there are more of? Do you
wheels
think there
are
are
on everything.
like let's start with like no, let's
I
start with something.
got wheels.
Well, let me start with something very simple. Let me start with something
Wait, I
very
thought
simple.
we were supposed to be
Do
wrapping
y'all
up.
believe there are more cars or more houses?
I just unleashed
Do you think there are more cars or more houses?
houses.
and that's not just houses.
But
there are also
how
more
many
buildings
houses-
that aren't
how
houses.
many
There are also
doors
more
are on
buildings.
most houses?
No. Here's the thing: every house, including the cabinets, every house has like 100 doors. Every house, and that's not
100 doors,
including the cabinets. Cabinet doors.
But you know,
So
in
think
like
about it.
factories, how they got those like track things with a billion.
There are
wheels on
more
them?
buildings than there are factories, and
Yeah,
there are more houses than there are
about
buildings. And there are
years.
more houses
What's
than there
an
are buildings.
average amount of
Years.
doors?
We're talking about years now.
Yeah, there's a difference between wheels and gears. Like there's
No.
so
Wait,
Because then the same argument could be applied to like doors and windows.
no, we're not making
No,
doors or windows. No, we're not. Doors are not windows.
Oh, okay. Well, then what about cabinets? How is that a
Cabinet
door?
doors. We call them doors.
But you don't walk through them.
no, but they provide an access into another space.
And
But
they
then
are
what
on,
about like a cupboard, like a pull out?
They're on.
door?
No,
That's a
that's a
drawer.
drawer, and that has
It's the
wheels.
same. True.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not
So
the same
the
thing.
drawers
Because a
cancel
door
out the
and a door has
cabinet.
and a door. No, there's so like no.
Yeah,
Like,
Roberto,
there's-
read that out loud.
What?
Read that out loud.
This pod is basically Roberto being serious about a topic, then Audrey Ember just laughing. Like, kinda. Kinda.
This is a serious topic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is serious. We're having a serious debate.
My argument is that drawers cancel out cupboards.
No, there are more cabinet
Cupboards than
doors. There are more doors in a house. There are more cabinet doors. There's doors on cars.
cupboards
There's
got,
doors
like,
on
2
planes.
wheels.
There's
There-
doors on buses, doors on the metro.
There's also
There's doors on all the
wheels.
buildings and all the things, all the buildings, all the like, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Even with all the drawers, even with all the filing cabinets, even with all that, there's still more doors than there are wheels, and it's not even close. And we've had doors longer than we've had wheels is the other reason. The other reason is we've had
That's
doors.
true.
We've had doors longer than we have, so we've had more time.
Toy cars also have wheels.
Hmm?
Whoever commented
Yeah,
that.
we've had more time to make more doors than we have had time to make wheels.
Roberto, toy cars have doors also.
Right.
Plus, I feel like most toy
But they
cars
all-
don't have doors that actually work. So do those count?
Back in my day, they did.
I would say they can't. I would say
Like
they
a Hot Wheel.
They have
My
to-
Hot
does
Wheels
not
did.
open.
I don't know what they're doing now, but my
They
Hot
have
Wheels
to-
did.
They would have to open in order for it to count. Yes.
Count.
Yes,
Okay.
I
but
would,
like
say that, I would argue
they have
that
to
there are
open.
enough-
Yes, they have to open. But like back
I
in
would
the day,
argue that
my
there are
Hot
enough
Wheels,
toy cars
my
that
collectible
open
cars
doors.
back in the day, the doors open.
No, yeah, they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
flex.
It's the cheaply made ones that don't.
Mm.
And those aren't the kind of toy cars you want in the house anyway.
What about like spheres?
Spheres are not wheels. Spheres are not wheels. Spheres are spheres.
Unless they're used as wheels,
Mm.
which
And
is
almost none of them. That's just about none of
So
them.
do used tires count?
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of those.
They're less than you think.
I guess people could recycle doors easier than they could a wheel. Or, like,
I
a
did
tire.
see there is this artist that
Doors
gets
last
wheels.
longer.
There's this artist that gets wheels and makes sculptures out of them.
Oh,
Think about how old houses are and that they have the original doors. Doors last longer.
but it's plastic.
No, they're mostly wood.
What about
Yeah,
skateboards,
that's what
roller
I'm saying.
skates?
Plastic would
No,
last. longer.
no, it doesn't. Like Audrey, we have trees that are.
It would
like
take
thousands of
longer to
years.
decompose. No.
No, it doesn't. Like doors, you can have a door that's original to the house for like 50 damn years
True.
with no problems.
Hmm. That's
Wheels, because you have to literally they wear down, they're useless, and then we destroy them. They're just, especially tires and rubber tires, like, and then rubber tires, like, no, it's like it's not even close.
true. Hmm.
It's not even close. Doors last longer, and we've been making them longer, and there's more of them, and it's not even close.
I don't know, man. I'm not convinced.
Time is on my side. Yes, it is.
Audrey, this isn't a good hill to die on. I'm just gonna.
Well, I thought more people thought it was wheels.
They did, and they were wrong.
I think that
Nah.
at least on this podcast, it is
I'm
two
outnumbered.
out of 3.
We need unbiased third
And
parties.
you're not even convinced. You're not even really convinced. You're
I'm
just being
convinced
contrary.
on wheels.
Based
Are
on
you?
what?
Are
Based
you?
on what? What's your argument?
The fact that wheels like are more functional than doors.
It's bullshit. By what logic?
Like they can be like used in multiple things, like chairs.
Have you
Like,
ever tried going into a bathroom that doesn't have a door?
Yeah, but like I'm on 4 wheels. Right
All
now.
houses have doors. All
Yeah,
cars
my
have doors.
my
All cars
chair
have doors.
cancels
All
out
trucks
all the
have doors.
in my
All
apartment.
houses, all cars, all trucks, storage units,
Bathroom stalls.
Like
refrigerators.
literally
all
count the amount of
refrigerators.
wheels
All refrigerators have
versus
doors.
in your house.
Excuse me?
It's not even in your house. It's not even close.
Yeah, it is. Because you have to
No.
count like the cabinet, like the.
I am counting the
drawers.
I'm counting the drawers. There are more. What do you think there are more of? Are there more cabinets in a house,
Yeah,
or
but
are there
there's
more
2
drawers?
wheels per drawer.
It's still not even close.
Oh,
I
she's
think
talking
if
about
I
the
did-
little
I
Go
have-
count in your kitchen.
Wait,
Go
how about
count in your kitchen.
Wait, how about this is homework for next time?
If I go count in my kitchen
Count the
right now,
amount of
if I go
wheels
count in my
versus
kitchen right now,
doors.
if I go count in my kitchen right now, if I count in my kitchen right now, there are only 5 drawers max in the kitchen. So you got 10 wheels. There are 20 doors in my kitchen. There's less than 10. There's less than 10 wheels in my kitchen, and there's more than 20 doors in my. And there's more than 20 doors.
I'm going to tell you right now that there's more doors in my house than there are wheels. That's including all the drawers.
Yeah,
And
including all the
Count,
drawers,
man.
including all the drawers, and including the chairs. 100%.
Maybe I'm just in a high frequency wheel house then, because
I doubt it, homie. To be real, I doubt it.
Literally, if I just count everyone's rolling chairs, I think I've already got it outnumbered.
I think if you go into I think that's canceled out. I think that's literally canceled out by the kitchen and the bathroom.
No, I don't think so. There's what, like 10 doors maybe in the kitchen, and there's definitely 10 drawers as well. We got a lot of, or maybe not, maybe like 6 drawers. But it still cancels out because there's 2 wheels.
No, you're not
on
even
each
thinking.
drawer.
No, because you haven't even thought about you haven't even thought about
I
the
forgot the
refrigerator
fridge.
right there.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
still, and it's still equal.
Probably not. And then here's the thing, and that's just that. And then the bathroom,
My suitcase has 4 wheels on it.
and then the bathroom,
No.
and then the bathroom, and then every other room in the house.
Dude, I got 8 wheels my desk has 4 wheels on. Just in this room, I got 12 wheels. I got 1 door.
You have more than one door, Audrey, in that room.
Not
There's
in
a
my
closet.
room, like right now.
There's a closet.
Okay, two doors.
There's a
2
closet.
doors.
And you have no you have nothing with cabinets?
Nope.
That's
I have
shocking.
a drawer over here too. I have a drawer here, so that's another 2 wheels.
In the kitchen.
I'm talking about like my room, like what I can see right now.
I guarantee you between the kitchen and the bathroom that there's between that and then the house is proper. I guarantee you
I'll
your house.
count.
I guarantee you
All
your
right.
house.
I will count
Your
for
house.
next
Lives in
time.
an anomaly where she's got more wheels than
What?
doors.
Well,
Guys,
oh yeah, microwaves, those count too. They got doors. You know, I will count. I will literally count for next time.
okay, you count it and you bring us that tally.
I will.
I guarantee
What
you
is
the first.
counting right now?
I
Look
guarantee
what
you
you've
the
done.
first floor of my house. I guarantee.
I'm never gonna look. He's dying now. Look what you've done to him. He's gonna be on his deathbed counting.
And here's the
wheels
thing.
and doors.
And here's the thing.
It's like,
Even in
door.
my house, literally with multiple C stands downstairs where every C stand is on wheels, I still guarantee you that there are more doors in this house.
We gotta count this, guys.
Look, you're giving him eye strain. You're gonna kill him.
I'm just. I got homework now.
Oh, Yeah, that reminds me, Audrey. How's the
No.
upload of
Okay,
the podcast?
I think we should wrap up.
How's the
Yeah.
audio?
I think we
How's
should
the
wrap up.
audio upload of the
What?
podcast?
Oh, how's the audio
What did you
uploads
say?
going?
Oh, listen. All right. I need.
Oh,
to
I'm
figure
trying
out
to
my
listen.
schedule.
If only our podcast was updated.
Bruh.
No, I think this is a great time to wrap up the podcast.
Thank you for listening to the No Song Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing. A trio of topics with your trio of hosts. Signing off for this week. We'll catch you next time at Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time-ish. And again, this has been your trio of hosts with a trio of topics, starting with Romina with the good hair, Audrey, Wheels Over Doors Ember, and of course your Dark Lord of the Interwebs, who is always right, including about the fact there are more doors than wheels, Roberto Blake. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Wrong.
Nope.